What's going on, my people, my people? This is Spoken by Eric. I just wanted to hop on real quick. I tell you what, I'm feeling real great today, and I'm just excited. I'm excited because I'm celebrating life. Life is amazing. Life is amazing even when I don't feel amazing. I want you to think about that for a second. Even when I don't feel amazing, life is still amazing. So what I've learned to do, I've learned to celebrate life despite of how I feel. You know, I've been thinking about this today. I felt a nudge in my spirit today. And I want to talk to you guys all over the globe. I want to talk to you guys about trusting the process. Trusting the process. I felt led to talk about that because I feel that there's a lot of people who are in life and life is pretty stagnant for you at this particular moment. And you trying to figure out a way, and you feel the pressure. You feel the pressure of life. You feel the pressure from maybe family, friends, or maybe you feel at this point in your life that things are just not going well. And you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, I'm here today to encourage you. I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to speak life into your very soul, into your mind, into your heart. And I pray that when we're done with this episode, that you will feel impacted and inspired and have a doing spirit to take the necessary steps to go to the next level on your journey. I was stating about trusting the process. Sometimes when we are living in a world and we are living in a society to where life is just moving, you know, from politics, from just the sports world, from the entertainment world, just life, you know, the medical world, the whatever world you're a part of, whatever space you're in. And sometimes when we're just moving, we're so distracted, and we're taking the tasks at hand, and we're living this life. And sometimes we can move so fast, and 5 years have passed by. And then you go into this mindset of what happened. I know the feeling. And so I feel to talk about this. Sometimes when you are in a place of dark or muddy, or even a place of confused, you're confused at that very moment in that season. And you've heard all the podcasts, you've heard all of the whatever, you've heard the songs, the gospel songs, you've been inspired for whoever you connected to, whoever you can relate to, but I still ain't getting the job done. I'm speaking to that person. I'm speaking to the person that has been putting the pedal to the metal, and yet you don't see any results. I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to the person who don't have a voice in their job, and they're just continue going to work, and you've been faithful. I'm talking to your voice don't have no value to your bosses or to your supervisors. I'm talking to those people who just continue working every single day, and you're underpaid. You're not even appreciated. You're not even being seen. And you keep working. And in a lot of ways, you are invisible. I want you to think about that for a second. You don't even feel the fact that every time you speak to yourself, you don't even believe that you're going to be you don't even believe that you're going to be anything. I'm talking to you. I know the feeling. You're very insecure within yourself. No matter how much your family, your auntie, your uncle, your cousins, your mother, your whoever, your mentor, or even your life coach, or even your therapist, it still doesn't resonate with you. I'm talking to you. I'm talking about you and spent so much money on trying to develop, and yet it still the seed haven't even prospered out anything in you. You haven't even got no good fruit. I'm talking to you. And so I want you to know this, that if you put some seeds in that ground, it's just a matter of time before they spring out. They spring up. Just a matter of time before Your payday is coming. You don't give up in the middle of a storm. You don't walk away because it's too tight. It's too tough. You've been disrespected. You've been stepped on. You've been taken for granted. I don't want you giving up right now. Because if you give up right now, you're going to miss the biggest blessing of developing and evolving in your life. I want to speak life today. I told you I was coming to speak life. I feel this thing. I don't want you looking at your circumstance. I don't want you looking at your doctor's reports. I don't want you looking at your bank account. I don't want you looking at your kids and you don't even have enough to provide for your kids. Or maybe you in corporate America and you're doing a job and you're fulfilling a job and you know you don't have no business there and you don't know where to start. I'm talking to you. And I want to encourage you. I come to speak life into your soul. I want you to fully understand that it's going to all work itself out. But it won't be able to work itself out if you stay if you stay in the mindset of saying it's just the end. What I'm trying to tell you, keep working. You work in that position. And that position will be a part of you. But you do the work before you get the position. And if you're not willing to be invisible, how would you know how to be visible? I want you to think about that for a moment. I come to speak life to you. I come to encourage you. I come to say, I know what you're talking about. When you look to your left, you don't understand how it's going to happen. When you look to your right, you don't understand how it's happening. You got your family picking at you. You got your family don't understand the vision because the vision was never for your family. The vision was for you. You can't get mad about the process. You can't get upset about the process. You can't get upset because some divine process of demonic activity is at your front door or in your mind. I want you to think about that. This thing is a lot bigger than you. What you're doing is a lot bigger than what you can even realize at this very moment. But if you stay distracted, if you don't stay focused, you will miss it. I was that person. I allowed man to come in my life and distract me. I allowed my past trauma to come in my life and to distract my purpose. I allowed people to dictate how I should feel. I allowed the naysayers and the haters, I allowed them to come in my life and possess me. Why am I talking with such authority? Because I've been where you at. I know the mindset. When nobody believes in me, my voice don't even want to be heard. I understand what you're going through. Well, maybe you're the black sheep in the family. Or maybe you got touched and you never addressed it and you keep on lashing out and so forth. I'm just being honest with you. If you're going to embrace life, you got to take the good and the bad. And know that if you're going through it, there's a reason why you're going through it, because you will see the other side. But when you stop, now let's talk about this real quick. Let me back up real quick. I want to make this very clear to you. Part of the process is stand in a secret place. That place is Jesus. Because through the process of becoming, we're talking about becoming. We're talking about trusting the process. Through the process of becoming, we have to know that our source, what is our source? Is it man or is it God? I want you to think about that for a moment. And if man is your source, now you have a problem because man will fail you. There's nothing wrong with trusting man. But most importantly, you got to the Bible says, put all your trust into God. God never told us to put all our trust into man. And I feel that to let you know that don't let life pull you down to the place to where you miss your purpose. Don't let the distractions or the hurt or the pain or the trauma or the anxiety to possess you to the place to where you can't even think clearly because you're so distracted. Because it's taken forever. I want to tell you to wait. I want you to wait. I want you to get your thoughts together. I want you to spend some time by yourself. I want you to do that. I don't want you being influenced by the world and what the world's standards are. The Bible says, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. The Bible says, be persuaded in your own mind. That's what I'm here to speak life today. I hear so many people having conversations with me. They don't know how to control themselves. They don't know how to control their mind. They don't know how to control their lips. They don't know how to control their thoughts. And they're just moving and shaking. And they're being so distracted. They're caught up in a job because they're comfortable. But God is really calling you to ownership. God is really calling you to have your own corporation. God is calling you to have your own LLC. But you're comfortable. And then you wonder why you're not growing. And then you wonder why people don't respect you. Let me tell you why. Because you've outgrown that situation. I want you to understand the process of becoming. You there for a reason. If you're looking at your boss crazy and you get mad, love on them despite of the disrespect. And learn from them. And take that negative and turn it into a positive. Sometimes we have to give harmony. Sometimes we have to set the environment for people to understand that you're serious about this thing. You're serious about your life. You're serious about your future. You're serious about your kids. You're serious about your marriage. You're serious about everything. And the way you do it, you have to be the model of it. You have to show people how you treat yourself. And I believe that you attract those people that can respect that. Why? Because it's not your source. It's God, the one that's giving you the strength, giving you the understanding, giving you the resource to understand that, guess what? God, you do all things. And through you, Jesus, I can do all things. Until you get to that point, you're going to continue on your journey. And you're going to be miserable. And then you're going to miss the most important thing. I want people to understand this last part as I close. God has put it in every single human in this earth, a people that he has set aside for only you to reach. Don't become so selfish to where you forget your purpose. Don't you get caught up in how the church treat you. Don't you get caught up on how the world's treating you. Don't you get caught up on how your wife treating you. Stay focused. Don't you get hung up on how your kids disrespecting you. I feel this thing. Don't you get caught up on what they saying on social media. Don't you get caught up because you don't have enough money right now. Don't you get caught up because maybe you illiterate. Don't you get caught up in that. The last shall be the first. Don't you get caught up because you're insecure with your weight. Love yourself. Be in love with yourself. Don't you get caught up because you have an anxiety and you got to go see a therapist and you're on pills. Don't you get caught up in that. You work and you let God do the rest. And don't you worry about those haters out there, because those haters going to help you those haters going to help you elevate. And if you don't understand that part of this journey of life, you're going to miss it and you'll be a miserable individual. I'm here to speak life into your soul. I'm not here to give you no motivation speech. I'm not here to do none of that. I'm here to speak life, that you might have life more abundantly. That's what I'm here to do. And for myself, I was that individual that struggled. I was worrying about what people thought of me. I was worrying about because I didn't have no mother or daddy. I was so upset and I was angry. I was a mad black man. But I had to come to myself to recognize that, guess what? I can't be like this. I can no longer have those excuses anymore. I have a whole generation that's dependent on me. I had to learn how to read and write. I was a crack baby. Y'all hear me? This is my truth. I got to be honest with you guys. I don't know no other way. I have to be transparent with you guys. I was a crack baby. They told me that I wasn't gonna be worth nothing. They told me that I won't even be able to read no more than probably the first grade level. They told me that my half of my brain, my right side of my brain, won't even fully function. This is what they told me. Now you see why I go so hard. I didn't learn how to read and write until I was 14, 15 years old. I was in the special classes. Yes, Eric Washington. See, it's not about how you start this journey. It's not about how you start. It's about an ongoing process of becoming. Drug baby, slow learner, clown that. They was in high school clowning me, man. But one of the first in my family to go off to college. It's sometimes when you look at life, some things you can't control. Some things you can't control. And when you can't control it, it's not your business. I want you to think about that for a second. The odds were against me. Didn't know how to read and write. I was a very insecure man. I didn't have neither one of my parents. I was broke. Had no guidance, no tools, no strategies. But God had his hand on me. He had his hand on me. And I feel to say this to those that are listening. See, it's rough sometimes. And if I would have gave up when the doctors told me that I'd never be able to read and write, if I would have gave up and listening to what everybody was saying about me, clowning me, they didn't understand my insecurities. I didn't bring that on myself. I didn't ask to come in this world. My mom, crackhead, on drugs, leaving us in a hotel room to where she's making her own drugs to where the hotel room burned up because she was so high and she left us in the room. See, if I would have stayed in that room, I probably wouldn't have been here. But I had an older sister that seen it and grabbed us and took us. Shout out to my sister KK. And so a lot of times when you don't understand why these things are happening, you can't get mad at yourself. If you don't feel like you're growing, you have to really go back and search yourself and say, what is going on with me? I can't look at nobody else. If I'm putting in the work, I got to trust the process. And sometimes trusting the process ain't cute. Sometimes trusting the process is crazy and it's muggy and it's everything that you can imagine. But God, you told me to do this, but no door is opening up for me. You told me to go work this job and learn from this person. And then we just give up. But we forget about the next generation. We forget about the people that God has set aside for us. I want to awake you in your soul to understand. You keep fighting. You keep fighting. You keep putting the work in. You keep believing this. You keep believing that what God told you. You leave this belief and step into that experience. That experience is that suffering. And just know if you suffer with him, you're going to reign with him. Just know that. And I want to read this last scripture with you real quick before I take off here. I hope that I've encouraged you. I hope I spoke life into your soul. I hope I spoke life into your mind. I hope when you get up, I hope if you're at work or if you're driving in your car, I hope that you hear me. I hope that you hear my mind. I hope that you hear my heart, that I'm here to speak life into your soul. I want you to fully understand that all of it's going to work together for the good. You just keep doing it, single mom. You just keep doing it, single dad. You just keep doing it, mother who husband and walked out on and left the family. You keep just fighting. You keep standing for truth. You keep standing and putting your feet one to another. And you say, great is he that is within you, that he that is in the world. You keep standing firm on what God has told you, despite of what it looked like, despite if the vision haven't came to pass yet. Just know that God has your back. For you to understand that you got to be invisible to become visible. I want you to fully understand that. And I want you to understand that I love you. And I believe in you. If God has given it to you, and if you put in the work, it will come to pass. If your marriage is struggling right now, and you're working on yourself as an individual, and if you let God work, God will put that marriage together. If you're struggling with pornography and drinking or drugs, go get the help. You don't have to always stay in that situation. If you out on the pole somewhere scripting and whatever you're doing, you want to get off, just tell yourself, say, God, I don't want to be this person no more. Make me to be the person that you've created in me. That person, let that person come to pass. That's the person I want to be. And don't worry about having a people-pleasing mentality. Ask God, say, God, deliver me from people. Teach me, Lord, how to be consistent with you and learn how to deal with people. Understand sometimes people are in your life to allow you to grow. In the beginning, you might not see it at first, but if you keep paying attention, you'll notice who is for you and who is against you. Understand that. If you're out there scamming, I feel to say this too. I feel this thing. If you're out scamming people and you don't have integrity, you don't have no character, in your heart of hearts, you want to do what's right, but this is all you know because you're a product of your environment, you can change too. Or if you're a whoremonger out there who's cheating on your wife, you can change too. Or if you're a player and you feel like your manhood is in your physiqueness, or whatever you want to call it, you can change too. Or if you're a professional athlete and you playing ball, but you know your heart ain't really there and God has called you to do something else, you don't have to stay in your condition. Even though it's glamours and lights, maybe it's time for you to try something else. And there's nothing wrong with that. But be all that you've been called to be on earth. And don't you let somebody else influence you on your decision making. Persuade your own mind in this time. I feel in 2023, my generation have to awake and understand that God is calling us to a higher calling. And that's so important for us to understand. I encourage you. I speak life into your soul. And the last thing before I leave here, for every married couple, I want you to fully understand the words of my mouth. If your husband can't love you, you seek God to learn how to love him and respect him. The Bible teaches us that the wife can win the husband by conversation, and she can sanctify the husband by conversation as well. And I want it to be for the men as well. Men, we need to understand how to study our wives and how to respect our wives and how to be fully committed as a husband, not with the wandering eye. No, I'm not talking about that because you still commit adultery. Not in your heart because you providing for your family. You feel like that you're a man. No, brother, that's not true. You're not a man because you provide. You're just a man that's providing for your responsibilities. And I want you to understand this, man, as I close this thing out. This is what God has put in my heart. I want you to fully understand that if you're going to be the best version of yourself, man, you must go back to the Creator who created you and get his blueprint. I love every last one of you guys. To the appointed time, I'm going to seal this episode. And I want you to know that I love you. Follow me on all platforms. I want you to subscribe, follow, chat, give me some feedback. Subscribe. Because this podcast is on its way up. Because God got his hands on it. And I know it. I love you. Stay encouraged and keep fighting. And look to the hills which cometh your help.